What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of Nasdaq100 weekly lows, weekly highs technical analysis video. I hope you guys have had a phenomenal week with your trades, week just gone, right? And we're going to pick up from where we left off last week, and hopefully, we're just going to do some analysis just to make sure that we are prepared for this week coming, which will be Monday the 9th of September, or I should say week commencing Monday the 9th of September. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. I believe the content I'm going to be sharing with you today is going to be super useful, so make sure you do all of those amazing cool stuff. So with all of that covered, we're going to get straight into the business of the day, a quick recap as to what we discussed last week and how what we discussed last week could have helped you in your decision making for taking trades during that week, which would have been week commencing Monday the 2nd of September. So with all of that covered, we're going to get straight into it, right? So as I'm sure you remember, okay, if you watched my previous week's video, so if you didn't do so, at the end of this video there will be a thumb, so make sure you definitely go check that out, and then obviously then come back to this one again, and then obviously watch what it is that we're going to be discussing. So doing a recap of last week's video, right? I talked about, in my opinion, based on what I saw in this area over here, okay, as you can see by these little zigzags going up, right, is that I believe that there was a high probability the price was going to push upwards. But I also gave an alternative view to say that, okay, even though the structure that we have up here, which is the descending flag pointing downwards, even though it does have a high probability of pushing upwards, it does sometimes break downwards as well, right? Okay, so as you can see, based on the analysis, this is why it's super important that you guys do the homework, do the analysis, make sure everything makes sense to you, because everything that happened here, okay, it was super easy to navigate, even though what I said didn't actually come true, right? Because remember, key thing about the markets, right, which is super important, because if this was not true, right, everybody and their cats and their dogs will be doing it as well, right? Which is, we as analysts or equity analysts, what we basically do is we make the best possible predictions based on what we are seeing with the data that we have in front of us to determine where market is going to go, and we use that to navigate the market. That's it in a nutshell, what we basically do. It's as simple as that. So last week's videos, there was key areas that I pointed out, so which was I was looking for entries up here, right, and that situation never presented itself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to zoom in, right? We're going to zoom in and we're going to drag this across to see if the conditions were met. So conditions were not met for me to take a sell, right? I mean, for me to take a buy, right? So conditions were not met, so I never took buys because the conditions I was looking for was not met. This is why I mean by it's super important to do the homework and don't blindly follow people on the internet telling you what's happening and what's not happening. I don't even want you to blindly follow what it is that I'm telling you. I'm expecting you to do the work, because I do get it wrong, and we can see here that I did get it wrong, right? I did get it wrong, but I was also right, because I had a countermeasure for if market went against what my initial bias was, which was price going up, what I would do if price moved against me. And price did move against me, and the condition I was waiting to be filled, this level right here, was met right here. Hence why I say hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, because I'm not going to say that I'm the best technical analysis person on the internet, but rather than telling you some Mickey Mouse stories of, oh, this is the strategy, do this and do that and do that, no, I would rather keep you dynamic in the market, because market does what it wants to do all the time. Yes, the market does repeat, but how it repeats is not the same thing every single time. Other than that, every single body will be doing it, and it will be the easiest thing in the world, but it's not. It is not. It is absolutely not. There's more losers in this game than there are winners. I promise you that, right? And the guys that are winners in this game, in all fairness, run off systems, checks and balances, everything must be ticked off before they're even able to move to the next stage, right, of taking trades. So the discussion I had up here, it didn't pan out, and as you can see, based on how I drew out, so if I was to keep it really precise, how I actually drew out the levels, there was at no point during last week gone that the conditions for me to take buys was fulfilled. right? We did not get a close above the resistance level. We never did, right? So at that point, I could only look for sales. Price started to hammer all the way down. Now, me personally, I don't trade Nasdaq100. I'm in gold now, okay, right? So gold is what it is that I do. But however, we can see here that price did come into the FVG. So we got it right here. Price came into the FVG level. Let's get rid of all of this. It came into the FVG and then pushed back up again, and then it began to collapse, right? So if you FOMO'd in when you saw price close below the FVG level, which was this over here, okay, then kudos to you. It's not recommended, but kudos to you. You got it nice and early at a discounted price, right? So price flew all the way down, took out the previous week's low, which was 19084.1. That's this level right here, right? Then it came back into it again. So when it came back into it again on a Thursday, right? When it came back into it again on a Thursday, and say for example, you had this bullish candle that pushed all the way up and then turned into a bearish candle, your entry, if you was actually live watching the market at that time, it could have been this one right here. It could have been this one right here, right? It could have been this one right here, this level right here. Okay, your stop would have been up here, right? Covering the previous wicks. And then from Thursday up until Friday, all of that would have been yours, right? If you had missed this level because you was waiting for this weekly low condition to be met, right? And that's how it would have worked out for you, right? Now, like I say, this stuff here ain't easy. It's not easy at all. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that it is. It's not. Hence why I always tell you that I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you financial advice, right? But I do know what it is that I'm doing and I'm relatively good at it, right? But however, I can't tell you that, because if I did, that opens me up to a whole heap of headaches and I ain't got time for that. Hence why I always say, it's important you do the homework and you do the research and you make sure everything makes sense to you before you go ahead and commit your hard-earned capitals to any position. Why? Because this thing ain't easy. It's not a plug and play book system. It's not something that you can say, okay, this worked last week, so it's going to work again this week and it's going to work again for the week after and the week after. No, because it changes all the time and there are things you're going to need to be aware of. I mean, look, the justification that I gave last week, right, which was the head and shoulders in this area over here, as well as the head and shoulders in this area over here, all supported the push to the upside, right? So easy plug and play system, all push to the upside. But however, like I said, this structure over here does not mean anything, right? Because market does what market wants to do. So we just identify things that give high probabilities of certain conditions to appear, and then when they don't appear, we then look for the opposite condition to be fulfilled, and then therefore that gives us the correct answer. So for example, let's just bring up this trend line again, how we really could have used this, because this is how I normally would trade, right? It's not even how I would normally trade, it's how I actually trade, right? So let's just bring this in. Okay, and let's analyze the situation over here properly, right? So we're going to zoom this in a bit, and then obviously naturally I'm going to go into the analysis for what we should expect for week commencing Monday the 9th of September. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit clearer in this zone right here, just to give us a bit of a better view, right? And then we can discuss what is taking place. The two areas that we're interested in is what's happening up here and what's happening down here. Okay, now one of the key things that you always want to be mindful of when there's a high probability the price is going to be turning around is the build-up or consolidation of market at one specific point. So for us right now, the consolidation build-up was at this this resistance level. Okay, so this resistance level appears to be a very strong resistance level, and price was not going beyond that level, right? So we can see that here. So we see the build-up in this area right here. So what we would do if you was actually looking for early trades into the system, and this is what some of the guys did, some of the guys that actually know what it is they're doing, this is what they did. What they basically would do is they'll wait for a low to be taken out. They'll wait for a low to be taken out because price is already saying that, look, I don't think I can get past this level because it's building up, right? it believes it can't get past this level. So they will wait for a low to be taken out. And as you can see, parabolic all the way down, right? Takes out this low over here, which is obviously a low level low, but however, it's a daily low, right? And we get these daily lows and daily highs every single day, but you can't really follow them and use them to trade because it's dicey. It's a dicey game. It's not exactly clear, right? So what happened was this. Price close below, right? So you say, okay, cool. You can see there's now a build up over here. So you're going to take that sell. You take that sell, boom. It rises all the way down. Happy days. And just as it's coming down, the weekly low is then taken out. So now you have absolute confidence that you can actually do something here. So you can actually bring in a trading stop, right? Now, where you bring your trading stop into this trade is super, super important, right? Yeah, because there's so many areas where market did not want you to bring in a trading stop. What do I mean market did not want you to bring in a trading stop? I'm going to show you those areas, right? Because I would be mindful and I try to avoid, I don't want my trading stop to hit, and I only want my trading stop to be hit if market is reversing. So we had the FVG in this location over here. So you don't want your trading stop down here, right? Why don't you want your trading stop down here? Because there's a high probability price may come in and tap into that FVG, right? And then we have another FVG area right here also. Also right here, right? So you entered in at this level right here, or this zone right here, okay? The best you can do is put your trailing stop to break even, because there are two zones. There are two zones, right? If you believe it's going to go down even further, there are two zones that basically says, look, if you bring your trailing stop in here, there's a high probability we're going to take it out and we're going to keep moving in the direction that we're moving in, right? And then you have another trailing stop down here. So when it comes to trading stop 2, that 2 is an art as well, right? So then you have another trading stop down here. So if you use this trading stop, right, chances are you would have gained all of that, and then you would have been stopped out, and then that would have been that. And then you would have had to decide if you're going to get back in again and ride it downwards. And chances are you would have done that, because you would have seen that, okay, there's a high probability due to the fact that the weekly low has been taken out, price is going to come downwards, right? Yeah. Now, if you was unaware that that could actually take place on the Thursday, you would have had the clear indicator to say price was going to be pushing all the way back down. Like it was there for you on the Thursday. On the Wednesday, touch and go 50-50 because of how we did it, okay? Because it was kind of half in, half out kind of vibe. But on the Thursday, that was clear. So on the Thursday, once it came in and it started to move away, you literally could have just waited literally, and brought in your trading stop, say around this level over here, right? So say around this level, if you were trading, brought your trading stop to about this level, covering this high, you could have gone back in with another entry at this level right here, ridden it all the way down. As soon as you got to the Friday afternoon, soon as NFP was released and you got into the second hour of after NFP report was released, you could have just moved your trading stop down here, knowing that no matter what, everything you had was all secured. And then at the end of the day, you could have decided, okay, if you're going to keep it open until for Monday coming next week, or if you was going to hop out. So these would have been all options that would have been available to you had you identified what was taking place up here, even though the indication that we got in regards to this overall move was pointing to a push to the upside. Because even price building up at this location over here, right, building up at this location over here, would have been relatively bullish in terms of there is a high probability it's going to push up. But the key thing is one condition had to be met, which was a close above the resistance level. Once the close above resistance level took place, then the next thing was, does it take out a weekly high? If the weekly high is taken out, you're good to enter into the market, in my opinion. Once again, not a financial advisor, not giving you financial advice. This is purely my opinion as to how I would behave and navigate the market if I was trading the NAS. But however, I was doing gold, you know, because I do love gold. Like I always say, gold is king, and that's that. Okay, so now that we've gotten all that taken care of, let's just lay out where everything is Actually, I don't even think I want this level there anymore. Let's clean that off. Okay, I think I'm going to get rid of this one as well. We don't want that there as well. We're just going to rejig that and let's see what happens next week. Let's get rid of this as well, and let's get rid of that as well. So it's relatively straightforward what happened last week. Market went in one direction, down from Monday to Friday. That's all it did, right? So weekly high for us is set over here, okay, which was given to us in the early hours of the Tuesday morning, right? That's it right here, weekly high. And the weekly low was given to us on the close of the Friday, and that's that over here, right? Weekly low. Now, in my opinion, either on the Monday or on the Tuesday of week commencing the 9th, so the 10th of September, we want to see what direction market moves in. So first off, let me just call out the levels so at least you guys have that. So on the high side, weekly high 19653.1, and on the low side 18317.2. If either one of these levels is taken out, we're looking for moves in a corresponding direction. Now we want to be a little bit careful for a week commencing the 9th of September, just because of where market closed at and what market could possibly do. So in my opinion, right, because market closed on the low on the Friday, okay, there is a decent amount, well, there is a high probability that it could push upwards, right? And you say, why do I say that, right? Because it's always important. I always ask myself whenever I make a decision, why did I make that decision? Why do I think it's a good idea? It's just something that I always do in just day-to-day life, right? So what we could say here is we might have a beginning of a new trend over here, okay? This might turn into another channel, but this could be the beginning of a new trend that we want to keep an eye on, right? So essentially what could happen is this. So we're going to keep it hypothetical, right? Because we don't actually know if market's going to do this or not. Nobody knows, right? So let's just say this is the idea that we're going to entertain right now, all right? So market has come into this zone right here, part of a channel, an ascending channel. Let's just say that's what it's building up right now. Right now, we don't know. We don't have a clue if it is an ascending channel or not an ascending channel. It could continue to push all the way down. We don't actually know, right? And I'm going to go into another side of why I'm saying what I'm saying. So first scenario on a Monday, possibly Tuesday, is we get price start to push upwards, right? At which point a weekly high will be taken out, and I believe it will be very, very, very quick. So it will be an explosive move to the upside. You might not even be able to catch it, okay? And then once it blasts past it, then we have to wait to see what it plans to do next, right? So that's one scenario of what could happen next week. So let me okay, right now, looking at what we've got here, actually wait, let me get another chart up. Let me just get another one, a clean one. Okay, let me just get another one up. Okay, so this one was respected, right? So we've got that all down, nice. So let's just get rid of all this stuff here. Now the second situation that we have, and we're looking at this on a 4 hour, the second situation that we have right here is that we do have a whole bunch of levels underneath, right? But however, we're waiting for one major level to be taken out. And in my opinion, that would be this one right here, right? If this level is taken out anytime during this month of September, okay, we need to start preparing ourselves for potential move all the way down to around, let's say, what's this level, 14076.9. There is a probability that price will come down to around this zone and then begin to push back up again, right? September in the markets is normally known for prices just dropping across the US markets. We could have the same thing again this month, or it might not be the same thing again this month. Who knows? We'll figure out as the days and weeks progresses, right? So in my opinion, going back to the original chart, in my opinion, I will say this, right? Let's see what kind of move we get on a Monday, right? Let's see what kind of move we get on a Monday, and then let's see what kind of move we get on a Tuesday, right? And if you want to be sensible with your trades, I recommend don't try to catch the bottoms. Just try to catch it when it's moving away to the upside. So how would we know when price is turning around and say what I've just said here has a high probability of coming true and the weekly high is going to be taken out? Well, that is really, really, really simple. Okay, right? We're just going to look for one of these levels here to be taken out. That's it. That's it. This level here gets taken out, then we will just lock it in with the buy up here. So it's a clean takeout. So it's gone above, it's not building up at this level or building up underneath it, right? We want this level entirely to be taken out. So how I would normally draw that on my chart is I'll make it look like something like this, right? I'll do it something like this, which is this entire wick up here. I want this entire wick taken out completely, and I want it to close above this zone over here, right? And then I want it to open above it. And then so long as it opens above it, it might push down, give me a bit of a drawdown, cool, fine, whatever. But I'll be confident that there is a high probability it's going to push upwards. That's how I would enter it, right? Now, if that doesn't happen, price is going to keep dropping downwards, and then ultimately it's going to get below this buy side level of 16767.0, and then at which point we know that obviously market is going into a downtrend, and we're just gonna obviously just play it like that. That's it. That's all we can do, is just play it like that, wait for it to get to as low as possible, and then once it then settles at a very decent low level, what we'll then do is we'll begin to load up with positions at that point for a long hold for a push to the upside, which would be tremendous amount of profits, if in my opinion. But as it stands, this is the game. This is how it looks to me right now. I could be right, I may be wrong, but I'm sure somebody's going to let me know in the comment section, because like I say, I don't know everything, right? I am not a financial expert. I'm a regular person like all of you guys watching, just navigating the market, and this is something that I seriously love to do. Now, the next thing is, if you kind of want to understand how I put everything together, how I analyze the markets, okay, right about now you should be seeing two videos. Video one is going to be on the back testing, where there's 21 videos in total. Go check them out, right? And obviously try to use that information to help yourself, okay? And the second is the previous week's video, so you can go take a look at that, and hopefully that should give you a lot more clarity as to what we're doing this week for week commencing the 9th of September. So with all of that covered, guys, I'll see you in the next video. This is Pips and Points signing out.